to show you how to make this adjustable pot hanger so you can easily raise and lower the height of your cooking vessel. So let's start by making a tripod that we're going to hang our pot from. So this adjustable loop works with any kind of pot hanger, but I'm going to use a tripod today. So I've cut 3 tall hazel branches, about 6 foot tall, about the height of my own head, because when we splay them out into a tripod shape they'll lower down. Line them all up with the thick end all together, so the 3 thin ends are down at the other end. And actually I'm going to work on the thin ends, not the thick ends, because when we put our tripod on the ground we want the thicker, heavier end to be down on the ground. So line all the 3 thin ends up together. Make sure you leave some space, so don't tie your cord right at the very tips because you want them to cross over. You don't want the very tips to be on each other when you've built the tripod. So I'm going to put my cord about a foot down from the end, and we're going to start with a clove hitch. So we're going to do 1 loop, 2 loops, put loop 1 on top of loop 2. Push that onto the top of the pole and pull it tight. The way you know you've done it correctly is you have the diagonal piece of cord with the end going underneath it. Then I'm going to wrap the cord. So I'm going to go under and over, under and over and under. I'm just going to make that slightly tighter, line my sticks up, then I'm going to repeat that. So I'm going to go under and over in between these gaps. I can feed it in through these gaps as well rather than going over the ends. Doesn't have to be perfect, it will hold even if you've not done it super tightly. Okay. Yep. So I'm going to go around that one more time in here. Okay, I think that's probably enough, and now I'm going to frap it. So that's the wrapping, now I'm going to do the frapping. So that's where you go around the joins to make it tighter. So I'm going to go around that first join, and then I'm going to go around this second join. I've got a bit too much cord here. Pull that through, and then I'll go around it again. And then I'll go around this one again. That'll do for now. I'm not going to do it tight, it's just for the purposes of demonstration. Okay, I'll cut that off there. Now let's stand it up. Okay, so to put the tripod up, take the right stick, put it over to the left, take the left stick, put it over to the right, and the middle one goes back. So that's the tripod done. If it seems a little bit loose, which this one is because I didn't spend that much time tightening it, you can twist the whole stick like that. Give that one a twist as well. And that will then tighten the cordage. So then I'll just swap the right and left ones, and I'll put the middle one either front or back. So that tripod's pretty strong now. That'll easily hold the weight of a big pot with a few litres of water. So the reason why I like a tripod is it's so easy to adjust. So if you want to adjust the height down, you splay the legs out. If you want to make it higher, put the legs in. If you just want to move it, you can just move it off the fire. Okay, so now let's make the adjustable loop. So you first need to decide how much length of cord you're going to need, and to do that, fold it in half so the end is up at the top, and that's going to be your highest point, so you won't be able to make the pot any higher than that. So if it's hanging there, that's going to be too low, because if there's a big roaring fire under there, we're going to want to raise it up to a simmer. So I'm going to take some more cord out, make it shorter, fold it in half, and then that looks kind of okay. And then when you take the cord down to its full length, but maybe take a few inches off for the knot, that's going to be the lowest that the pot will be able to go. So that looks about right there. Okay, so I'm going to mark that, just pinch that off while I bring it to the camera. Actually, let's just tie a knot at that point so we can, only because I'm taking it off the tripod, so I just know where that length is now. So then we're going to make a bowline. So we're going to put a loop. So we're going to make a loop in the line. The rabbit is going to come through the rabbit hole, under the line, standing line, and back into the rabbit hole. Okay, now that is called a bowline, so that's a fixed loop. So if I pull it, it will not slip and it won't come loose. It won't get bigger and it won't get smaller. Let's do that one more time. So you make a loop so it crosses over itself. Now the rabbit is going to go through the rabbit hole. Now make sure he goes through from the side that's on top, like that, so that you get that locking there. If you put him through from the side that's underneath the loop, it won't work. It will just fall apart into nothing. Okay, so you've got your loop. Now the amount of length I have on the end is how big my bowline is going to be, and you want it big enough to push a fat stick through, because that's going to be our toggle later. So the rabbit goes into the rabbit hole, under the log, and then back out the rabbit hole. Or he goes out and he comes back in, whichever way around. That's the bowline. Okay, one more time. Loop, pokes his head out the rabbit hole, under, and you can go either way under, it doesn't matter. You can go under the log that way or under the log that way. Back into the rabbit hole, pull tight. Okay, so this is the height that I marked earlier. So let's just lock that off, and you could possibly do another bowline that you hang on there, or you could do a Siberian hitch, whatever, or you can just wrap it round, doesn't matter. I've got a lot of excess cord here which you can cut off, but I don't want to cut this, so I'm just going to hank it and leave it there for the time being. Okay, so now we need a stick, which is going to act as our toggle. Take the pot, put the line under the handle, and then hold the tension. Put the bowline on top of the standing part of the line. Push the standing part of the line through the middle of the bowline, and in between the two you have a hole which you can toggle. Okay, and friction is going to hold that. So if you want to move the pot lower, just take the toggle, push it down. Go a bit lower. Okay, so that's on the fire now, that's at a boil. When it starts simmering, take the standing line underneath the toggle, hold that and push the toggle up. And we come up to what we measured earlier, which is the highest point. Okay, so you can make it slightly higher by pushing the legs together. You can make it slightly lower by spreading the legs apart. That's pretty solid, so it's working on friction now. So the heavier this is, the more friction is going to be in that toggle. And also the more rough and coarse your string is, the better that's going to hold. If you've got a very shiny paracord like this is, it's not going to work quite as well. If you want to take the pot off the fire, just take the pot, Take the toggle, get rid of the toggle, and just make sure you hold the string, because if there's a fire there, that's going to melt it. So you just pop the string away on top, and there you go.